episode 165 of the Thunder Underground podcast. I'm Trent. This is Jason. How's it going?
It's going great.
Why is it going great?
I don't know. It just is. Let's not worry why. Let's just go with it.
Okay. If it's going great, then
yeah,
just be good, right?
Exactly.
Or be happy about it.
Exactly.
We've got another episode of talking about music and playing some music. The
That's
typical
right.
here for us, right? But let's just jump right in.
Yeah.
We're not going to play The Urge. Get it, jump right in. Wasn't that the name of the song?
Oh my God, that was.
Oh,
wow. You pulled that one out of the depths.
I don't know how I remembered their name right after I said that phrase, but because I didn't plan that, I promise.
Wow. Nice.
We're going to have to listen to that after we finish this.
Yeah. Good play. Good play.
Yeah.
I liked that song.
Late 90s power
ska? What?
Power ska.
I don't know. But anyways.
Well, now let's jump right into some hard rock.
Yes, why not?
This band's called Rider, out of Queens, New York. We'll talk about this here in a bit, but this song is called Do or Die.
I've been waiting
Do or Die from Ryder. And as you could tell, that was live.
Yes.
They have a brand new, well, it came out about a month and a half ago, live EP called For What It's Worth, 5 live tracks, which is pretty interesting because a lot of times you don't see independent bands release live albums, which I thought was a cool deal.
Yeah.
So we've got these 5 tracks, and we got to check them out because they are coming to Rocklahoma.
Yes, they're going to play the Axis stage, right?
Yeah, they're playing the Thursday pre-party.
Okay.
They're driving in from Queens, New York, and I saw that they have some dates along the way throughout the Midwest. So if you're in those areas, look for it. Right?
Nice. I can't wait to see them. Where can people listen to this EP at?
Pull them up on their Facebook page. It's Ryder, R-Y-D-E-R. That's the namesake of James Ryder.
Nice.
And I believe you can get it on iTunes, Bandcamp, that kind of stuff. But yeah, like I said, 5 tracks. That Do or Die track's got a great stomp to it, some thick guitars, good vocals. It's the kind of, all these songs kind of sound like it's a good thing hearing them live because it sounds like the type of stuff that goes over well live. It's got that good sing-along kind of vibe to it.
A fish shaker for sure.
Yeah, fish shaker.
There you
Fish
shaker, fist shaker. But you can shake anything else you want to this song. It works.
That's true.
So yeah.
So yeah, check him out, Ryder, R-Y-D-E-R. All right, Stone Temple Pilots.
Let's get into this. It's the second self-titled.
A couple different times you've mentioned you wanted to talk about this.
Yes.
I just wanted to throw that in. So here we are.
Oh, because you didn't want to?
For a while, I really didn't want to.
Well,
after hearing Meadow, I'm like, well, this is all right, but it doesn't draw me to want to listen to this, and
Well, I feel like, and we kind of got on this on our Alice in Chains thing, but I just feel like these guys need a chance. They need to be heard again. I think that this band has gone through, Eric Kretz and the DeLeo brothers have went through a lot of shit, and they deserve some good stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to champion them a little bit, whether you agree with getting a singer or carrying on or not or whatever.
No, it's nothing like that.
Well, I'm just saying in general, people out there.
Oh, yeah. Well, you mentioned it's the second self-titled, and it's actually 2 in a row, right? Wasn't the final Weiland album the self-titled one?
I thought that was, I don't know, because a couple of those albums I kind of checked out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, they pulled a Weezer or whoever, who likes to make multiple self-titled albums, but it makes sense because it's a fresh start.
Oh, yeah, a new beginning.
I did air quotes there for anyone that couldn't see, besides you.
I'm the only one that could. Nope. Keep going.
Okay. So, right up front, it took me about 3 weeks to listen to this. Not because I don't like them, but just because if Weiland was still alive and they had released this album, it would have still took me about 3 weeks.
No, yeah, you're right.
Because that's where I've been at with this band for 15 years, 20 years maybe. It's just like Pearl Jam. Their first albums are a masterpiece. The second album, is pretty cool. And then after that, there's just there's some good stuff. There's a lot of stuff I don't care about.
Yeah, true.
And Stone Temple Pilots, I heard 2 or 3 songs off this, and I thought, well, that's cool. I get what they're doing. The guy sounds like him.
Yes.
But it's not blatant, but it's pretty close to blatant.
Yeah. And that was kind of what I wanted to say at the start, before I talk about any of the songs. I'm not really going to talk about vocals because I'm just going to tell you right now, it's pretty much Weiland. I mean, I don't know if that's just his natural, what he sounds like. He Jeff Goot definitely cites Weiland as an influence. I don't know if, they told him this is what you need to sound like. I don't know, but there's a few times you could think, oh, this is Weiland. So just know that with all these vocals. And then the rest, I'll just talk about the music.
So you got to think
just a blanket statement there.
Well, you got to think this is like their dream scenario.
Exactly.
Like, look, it's a Weiland that we can control.
Yeah. Yeah. A Weiland that's not a fuck up. I said it. I don't care. So.
What I've always had a love-hate with Weiland, and
I did too, man.
And it had nothing to do with the fact of his problems or whatever. Everybody has problems. I love Axl Rose and Lane Staley.
Oh yeah.
But My love-hate with Weiland was just that sometimes he was awesome and sometimes it was not.
Yeah.
And at least not to me.
Yeah.
You know, that whole middle tripping on a hole in a paper heart, Lady Picture Show, which a lot of people love. That whole era just annoys the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not just him. That's the whole band sounding like that.
Yeah.
And that's the vibe I got from this album when I first heard the first few songs.
Okay.
So that's kind of why it pushed me off from really
see.
delving into it. But then I thought, okay, I need to delve into it because we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, that didn't change. When I'm listening to this, I'm like, okay, this is exactly what I thought. And I'm getting into this thing. 4 songs. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 songs into this. I'm like, yep, this is exactly what I thought. This
You
is
were
going.
like, fuck whatever Jason said. We're not talking about this album.
No.
We'll talk about fucking something else instead.
No, I was just going to say, hey, you're on, this one's on you. I'll just sit here.
Yeah.
But no, then the 5th song.
That's how we're going to be in a minute.
Oh, okay. Then the
Not
5th
really.
song hit.
Anyways.
Track 5. It's called 6-8. And I'm like, okay, now we got something going here.
Okay.
And literally from that track on, like, Thought Should Be Mine, Roll Me Under, Never Enough. Those 4 songs in a row, I'm like, that made this album for me. And that made me happy.
That's cool.
And then kind of after that, it kind of lost it again.
I get that. Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, it's funny you mentioned Roll Me Under because I think that's probably the best song on the record. It's catchy, it's heavy, and it's like them, to quote Jerry Cantrell and Jerry Maguire, just putting your balls out there. I mean, it really is. And I thought if more the album was like this, I'd really enjoy it better. But not saying it's a bad album. I mean, I've got, Middle of Nowhere was a good album opener. It's riffy. It's powerful. It's not really like super heavy, but it gets the job done. Guilty. I like the solo part in the song Guilty because it's weird. It's like the bass is way up front, but there's also kind of a guitar solo going on and it's kind of unique. They're kind of, it's the brothers kind of playing off of each other. Like it's just kind of a little dissident, a little not. That's something I noticed that was cool. So, and I'm kind of surprised that you Thought She'd Be Mine. Cause I kind of thought it was like that 90s alt rock, hazy summer afternoon kind of boring thing. But, I mean, that was kind of a low point for me in the album.
Well, you remember the number 4 album with Sour Girl and that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Which isn't really like that, but
yeah. Well,
that stuff always
Sour Girl's okay. I don't know.
That song Glide that was on that album.
What about the,
I always kind of dug their slower stuff, but.
What's that one song that we both loved? Something about painting flowers on your grave or something. What was that called?
That's Glide, I think.
Oh, it is?
Or no.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
We're just talking it out. We're talking it out here.
Right. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'd say I went into it with not low expectations, just middle of the road expectations, and it kind of lived up to that for me. But it had, like I said, several tracks that jumped out and now, make me want to listen again.
Yeah.
But overall, the band just has never done much for me since who knows when,
Yeah.
I mean, I saw him, last time I think I saw him live was at the Bill Street Music Fest.
Really?
And I wasn't even going to watch them. That's how much I didn't care.
I see.
There was something else going on and I'm walking out and I can't even remember. They opened with, some, one of their hit songs.
Yeah.
And as I'm walking off, the second song was Down.
So
it caught me. I'm like, all right. I went over there and I watched them for half the set, I think, before I went wherever else I was trying to go.
Yeah.
Because that's one of those festivals where there's 5 bands playing at the same time.
Well, you should have just hung out to see if he did anything stupid, fell into the drum set or something.
I don't know. I think he was all right during that
Oh,
period.
okay, never mind.
For that year.
Oh, fuck me, I'm an asshole.
Well, yeah. So there you go. I mean, overall, you give it
I give it a 6.5,
half killer,
7.
half filler.
6.5, 7. It's got a good beat. I could dance to it.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for with this stuff.
No, it was a great effort. overall. And like I said, I'm behind these guys. I want these guys to do good again. I think they deserve it. So
Yeah.
that's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, like you alluded to at the beginning, I mean, I have no issue with them getting somewhere and moving on.
Hell no.
There's only
I
like
don't either.
2 or 3 bands in the world
Yes.
that would piss me off.
Yeah.
And they're not one of them.
Yeah,
So
they have every right, and I'm going to enjoy seeing them at Rocklahoma. So
yeah.
we'll all be there. We know we will. We know we're going to watch it.
Well, another album that just came out here a couple weeks ago was
Yes.
the new Monster Magnet album, Mindfucker.
Nice.
And just by the title alone, you know that it's better than Stone Temple Pilots' album.
I mean, well, just that title makes it better than a lot of fucking albums.
Right?
I mean, come on.
Now this, I've long been a fan of these guys.
Yes.
This is the Monster Magnet album that I've been waiting for.
Since Dopes to Infinity?
No. I mean, they've done shit since then.
I know, I'm being a dick.
Power Trip, God Says No are both great. But this is probably, just after 2 or 3 listens, and probably my favorite one since Monolithic Baby, which came out in 2004.
Yeah.
They've had like 3 since then, and the last couple albums they did were like weird redos of the last 2 albums.
Really?
Not even get into that.
Oh, shit.
Reimagining. Dave Windorf's getting into that. I'm getting older, and I'm going to just do some fucked up shit stage.
Reimagining?
Yeah.
Probably we shouldn't do this anymore.
But no, I mean, this, what I want, it's straight ahead. It's not, they're one of those bands that, they can do what they want. But a couple of their albums kind of lost me.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, but it's just whatever.
Yeah.
All these songs are straightforward, but it's got more than, when you think of like Dopes Infinity or Power Trip, those are somewhere between stoner metal and just metal.
Yeah.
This is more your stoner kind of stuff that's almost crosses into that psychedelic rock, space. And there's even stuff on here, like that song Ejection, that sounds like the Stooges.
That was a great song. I really liked that song, yeah. I was going to mention that one.
And you get that from 2 or 3 of the songs, that
Yes.
kind of Iggy Pop
Yeah.
feel almost,
Yeah.
And there's just more of that kind of fuzz, old school 70s
Yes.
psychedelic thing going on.
Yeah, I get that. I like Rocket Freak. I think that's one of the, not only is the opener, but I think it's one of the strongest tunes on the record.
Yeah, I agree. That, and then the title track got stuck in my head. And not just because it's got a cool name, but it's a great song. Where was I going to go? Oh, Drowning is that like 7.5 minute song. It's kind of that mid-tempo thing, and it's just kind of a classic Monster Magnet groove to it.
Yeah.
And there at the end, you got When the Hammer Comes Down, which is a Hawkwind cover, in case you didn't know.
I did not know that. Now I got to re-listen.
Yeah.
I liked Brainwashed. It kind of sounded like a punk or a horror punk band kind of doing something, maybe mellower or acoustic or something.
Yeah.
Like I could see Horror Pops or, maybe the Misfits in the 90s doing this.
Oh, yeah.
And even All Day Midnight in a way, but more so Brainwashed. So I really, that Brainwash stuck out to me, and I just have always wanted to mention Horror Pops on this podcast, so I just did it.
Finally.
Yes, finally.
But this is, one of those things where I hear, every time I think of Monster Magnet, I'm like, why haven't they, they obviously had that moment in the 90s with Space Lord.
Yes.
They had gotten known before that, but got known to the mainstream with that.
Yeah.
And then have never really since then. But I always just thought that as time went on, that I don't expect them to have a, mainstream success, but I just expected them to kind of do what Machine Head did or something, where it just kind of elevated a little bit.
They had a little bit of a cult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, they do in a way, but not really in America.
Yeah.
Everywhere else they do.
I know.
But
I know. After I loved Dopes to Infinity and then Power Trip, everybody went crazy about Space Lord. I was never super crazy about that song.
Yeah.
The video pissed me off. And so I kind of checked out on that band. I have to admit. So got to see McCain's a couple times though. That was cool.
Yeah. But didn't we see him? We saw Corrosion and Conformity open for them, right?
Yes. And
Which would be the other way around.
That was the show where Ed Mundell threw his guitar out in the crowd. like through his guitar. I've never seen anyone do that.
I forgot about
Just
that.
took it off, threw it in the crowd, and let everybody it made it all the way to the back and back to the front or something. I don't know. But yeah, and then the second time was with Cold. You remember? And like a fuck ton of people left after Cold.
Yeah, I forgot
because
about
they
that.
had the Stupid Girl song that was super huge. So that's why the fuck everyone came to see that. And then after them, a lot of the people there split. So
That was bad booking.
it was. So why would you ever book Cold for anything? Fuck, I said, goddamn. I called Scott Weiland to fuck up and talk shit about Cold in the same episode. I'm going to hell.
I don't think that's grounds for going to hell.
Okay, good. All right. I don't like talking shit, but I did anyways. So I'm a hypocrite. Anyways, keep going.
Right. Well, if you like stoner rock, psychedelic rock, just good rock, Hawkwind even, you know.
Oh, no kidding. I got to listen to that again. You said today, let's do this. And I'm like, fuck, I never listened to this. I said I was going to.
Oh, so yeah, you had the cram session on this,
and
right?
I did. Like right after work as I was running around town, I blared it on the stereo in the car. And then out here, I started it up again. So, you know, it was at least fresh in my brain.
Yeah.
You know, and a couple songs really grabbed me. So it was all good.
Oh, yeah. So people check it out. It's called Mindfucker.
Yeah, how can you not check? I mean...
Oh, yeah. Well,
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm such a fanboy that I got the pre-order with the autograph CD booklet.
You are the fucking man.
Well, it's got Dave Windorf and like 3 other people's autographs.
Yeah.
Or 4.
So why not?
You know, since it's like basically well, I forgot the dude's name. The rhythm guitarist has been there now for 15 years.
Oh, the Phil guy? Phil something or other?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
The other ones are all new within the past 5-6 years. But
yes.
Anyway, check that out.
Yes, Ed Mundell went on to become super famous with Atomic Bitch Wax.
That's right. So, let's talk about a couple shows here.
Yes. You went to one, I went to one.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first because mine was longer ago.
Yes,
Not that really matters on the length of this, but I forgot the damn date. But here, 2 or 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
It was the end of March, I believe.
31st, right?
That's right. Yeah, I can vision the poster now. It said March 31st across the top.
Yeah, I remember because that was a day I thought I was going to die. I was so goddamn sick, I didn't go.
Yeah. So,
and that's a whole other story altogether, but whatever.
But no, I was out at the show, and constantly people said, hey, is Jason here? Like, you're supposed to be there because I am. And
they did not.
No, seriously. Several people asked me, and I'm like, no, he didn't make it. He didn't feel good. They're like, what, is he sick? I'm like, well, he's not sick. He's like hungover sick. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah.
It was like super bad, so that was stupid. And thanks to everyone for asking about me. But yeah, it wasn't a normal hangover. It was a pretty bad one. Yeah, I'm an idiot. So anyways, the show, proceed.
Yeah, Less Than Human played the Vanguard, and they had Reliance Code, Stanley's Revenge, and Driver with them. And this was really my first chance to see a full Less Than Human set.
Nice.
Which, actually, according to Colton, was like one of their first ever like full-on, you know, full sets. Because usually they're playing these shows and you get a 45-minute set.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. But they got an hour.
Nice.
And I got there. I got to see the last 2 songs of Stanley's Revenge.
Okay.
So at least got to catch them.
Yes.
You know them. We've talked about them. Great band out of Pryor, Oklahoma.
Yes, we played them on the show.
Yeah, they're actually playing. It's not the pre-party. They're playing one of the days at Rocklahoma on the Access stage.
Yeah, they're on the Access stage. That's great.
So yeah, get out there and check them out. And then Driver, of course. You know, I feel like a broken record, but I know some people don't. Some people don't listen to every episode, but
yes,
such a great live band, you know.
Yeah, if you're listening for the first time, they fucking rule.
Yeah. Such, you know, all 5 of these guys just have the shit locked down.
Yes,
and
they do.
Brandon just brings a great, you know, presence to this band. You know, he's a great front man. He's got a great voice. We've spoke about that before. You know, they've been through a couple changes, but this really sounds like this is where it's at, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, they're getting in the groove.
Yeah.
Good.
And they put on a killer set. And it's just like, the other thing to point out is when I got there, Stanley's Revenge was the first band. And the place was already full.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like squeeze through the crowd full, but I mean, it was full up, which is good for a show like this. And, by the time later in the night when Less Than Human went on, I mean, there was a full crowd in there, which is always great to see at shows like this. You don't always see that, at local shows with 4 bands from the area. And, same thing, Reliance Code. We've talked about many times how this is another band that you expect to go places. They've got a great CD out called Finding Your Way Out. And just a killer strong live band. And it was the first time I saw them with their new guitarist.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, that's right.
And this guy really brings not that these guys need energy. They all have energy, but he brings even more energy.
Yeah.
And he's just like, literally, he's all over the place. He's one of those type dudes. He's just like headbanging, playing. He's always moving,
Good.
And he's just, brings even more to their show. And then towards the end of the show, I was standing next to Kevin Graham, and he's like, he took his shoes off. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool, whatever. And I noticed that he's walking around, and I thought, well, maybe it was slick or something. But then come to find out the next day, did you see that? Where they posted that apparently part of the stage had like broken or something, and like the wood, I guess it was, went through his shoe and like hit his foot.
Really?
But like, I guess he was lucky that it didn't like go clear through, and he took it off and it had cut his foot, I guess.
Wow.
But didn't like, it wasn't as bad as it could have been, basically.
Nice. Well, at least, yeah, it didn't go through impale his foot. That would have sucked.
But yeah, that's the other thing. He kicked the shoe off and just kept going.
Hell yeah. That's rock and roll right there.
Yeah.
And
I even think I saw one time his strap flew off and broke because he was just going nuts, and he kept going put that back on,
That will happen.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
There you go. But Less Than Human, you've said, just, how great it is to see a band like this, especially at this age.
Yeah.
All young, early 20s, put on a show that's just like, you feel like you're watching, a national act at the Brady or something.
Exactly.
They don't just have the stage show, they've got the music that backs it up, and they have energy for days. And the crowd, that's the best crowd, one of the best crowds I've ever seen at the Vanguard, even for national acts.
Good.
Like, the crowd was going shit nuts, and like there was I think even Josh from Reliance Code mentioned there was a mosh pit during their set.
Really?
That's the first time he had ever noticed a mosh pit during a Reliance Code set. And then once, of course, Less Than Human hit, it got even bigger.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I'm talking, we were standing back closer to the bar, and there were several times where people hitting us. That's how big the pit was filling up the whole middle of the floor.
I hope people are taking note of that.
Yeah.
Important people in high places are seeing this.
Yeah.
And I sucks I didn't go.
Yeah. But I mean, they even played a cover medley. And I'm trying to remember, they played Blind by Korn.
Yeah.
They played Ministry. I'm drawing a blank on which song. And I can't. And then they played My Own Summer by the Deftones.
Nice.
And it seemed like there's a fourth one in there too.
Really?
But yeah, I mean, it was like and he mentioned that, that's something they usually don't do because they usually don't have the time,
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we can't stress enough how great this band is live. And I mean, all 4 of these bands.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
We've seen them countless times, and we'll see them countless times again.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Maybe later this year.
Yes. Maybe. You never know.
Yeah.
I have a feeling, though.
It's possible.
It's very possible. Before I move on to the show I saw, I just want to say you mentioned something earlier about, when you got there, when Stanley's Revenge was playing, it was already packed. And that's something I never, I forgot to mention about Halata Fest, to go back a little bit. I noticed, in the afternoon when we got there, it was already packed, or it was a pretty healthy attendance. And that just makes me feel good for this scene in this town. Because, I never saw that back when I was playing out.
No.
Maybe once or twice if it was, a big band,
event. Yeah.
or some big event. But just for a local show at a venue to be packed, that never goddamn happened. So to have this support now is super great to see, and I'm so grateful. And, these bands deserve that. They really do.
That show you went to, it's been over a year ago now, that one that was like Grind in Oklahoma Braves, Skytown.
Yeah,
at the Vanguard was packed out too.
Yeah, it was.
And it's the same thing, Yeah. It's all 4 bands from the Tulsa area.
Exactly.
And that's just great to see. And I mean, it's not a free show, so I'm glad that it's still drawing people in, because that's what you always worry about with, fickle ass people. You don't want to pay
exactly
$8 to see 4 great bands, But
and that's the thing. This is what's going to keep it going is turnouts like this. So I'm really proud of everybody. I'm really glad everyone's waking up to it. So there you go.
Yeah.
So this past Saturday night, I went to see Altar Blood at the Blackbird. I really like that venue, by the way.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
The old Eclipse.
Old Eclipse. Yeah, we were all there. Got there just to see the last song from BKR from Fayetteville. The last song I saw was great. Just good hard rock.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit of punk going on. But at the same time, some pretty cool solos. Sorry I didn't see enough, more of them. But Altar Blood, they were great. I got to think back when we first saw them, like at Lotta Fest last year, to where they've come now, and you can see the progression, and you see why they get to open up for some national bands and stuff. I mean, they're obviously there's only one guy left from when they started out, Ryan. But I mean, they were so tight. They were well rehearsed. The drummer is fucking insane. I was really impressed by their drummer. It was just spot on. The vocals were brutal. To see their progression was really cool. And, they played a great set. So
I assume the vocals were the same.
Yes.
Like
yeah. I
brutal
mean,
style.
if you like that brutal, it's like, I guess, see, that's where I get kind of sketchy is, I don't know if it's because I'm an old fuck or whatever, but, when it gets into the real brutal vocals, I don't kind of know what I'm listening to sometimes. I've said this many times. There's only a few bands like that I really can get into. But I definitely recognize the effort and the talent that goes into this. And, the singer had different, voices and sounds he could do, and he had a great presence. He was getting in people's faces. So that was really cool to see. This band's come a long way. So I was entertained for sure. It was a great set.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of,
and their shit's on like Spotify and iTunes now and all that kind of stuff. So go search it.
Nice. I'm going to do that myself.
Yes, definitely.
Well, speaking of concerts, this weekend there's 2 or 3 things you could check out.
Definitely.
First thing we want to mention is that Fist of Rage, another band we like to bring up on this podcast quite often, is having their CD release show.
Yes.
This Saturday night at the Shrine.
Yes.
It's only $5 to get you in, and you get to see Fist of Rage play some of these songs from their new CD called Giddy Up.
Can't wait. I have the CD.
Same here. And they've also got Grind along with them.
Yes.
Wither and Whippersnapper.
Okay. We're gonna be there.
Yeah, we are.
I'm gonna be there this time, I promise. No violent hangover. I swear to God.
You never know what happens Friday night.
Yeah. Anyways, keep going.
Well, stepping back a day, Friday night, the Black Star Experience.
Yes.
Is playing at PH Community House. And we mentioned the Black Star Experience is one of the projects from Dakota Harrington.
Yes.
Who has been on this podcast way back with his band, Mr. Rogers' Intergalactic Sexual Experience.
With Trevor.
Of course. And he's got several projects, Space Eyes, Suicider. But the one he's doing currently is the Black Star Experience. And he's doing a joint set with Lady Cork, who is an artist out of San Diego, California.
Okay.
And she's, I guess, a musician / visual artist. So this is...
Nice.
What Dakota does is a lot of experimental stuff and
heavy
stuff. So I just imagine, you put the 2 minds like that together. you never know what's going to happen here.
Talk about a fearless guy. You know,
Oh, yeah.
He'll do fucking anything. And then, you know, with all of the noise and the ambient stuff, and then with the visual artist, I mean, you know, maybe sometimes I don't get it because I'm some crusty old metal guy, but I mean, I totally respect, you know, just the fearlessness of it.
Well, I assume it's going to be dark because he's got Obscure Sanity opening up.
Yes.
That's a band from the Tulsa area that, you know, I've seen them before. They're heavy as hell.
Yeah.
You've also got Drew Hell and We the Undead out of Oklahoma City.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, that's a great, you know, set of music right there coming from you at the PH Community House.
Of course.
This Friday night. Guess what day that is? Friday the 13th.
Uh-oh.
Coincidence? Probably not.
I think not.
Also, Friday the 13th, on the flip side of that,
Yes.
LA Guns is going to be in town. They're playing the Ideal Ballroom. Poster Child is open. And our good friends in Down for Five are open.
Nice.
Down for Five, band that we're very glad to see back. They
Totally.
played 2 or 3 shows now since they've reformed here earlier this year. So yeah, get out there, check that out if you like the 80s rock. And then Down for Five is they're not really 80s rock, they're just heavy rock.
Yes, they're heavy. They're heavy as hell.
But LA Guns has Tracy Guns and Phil Lewis back together. First time in quite a while.
That's right. Is Steve Riley there?
I do not believe so. Neither is Bones.
There would be a fight on stage if that were to happen.
Is that everything for that weekend? Yeah.
Yeah,
We just want to
so.
mention, we'll talk about this again on our next episode.
Yes.
But next Friday, 4/20, the day that you're going to smoke joints and shit.
Oh, okay.
In Oklahoma City.
This is going to be a fucking barn burner right here.
Yeah. OKC City Limits, Shotgun Rebellion, and Final Drive. Right there's enough that I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'd go to that.
Yeah.
I'd go to that.
Yeah.
But then you throw in fucking Scattered Hamlet.
Yes.
Who is one of the bands that we've championed beyond
beyond champion.
beyond belief throughout our history of this podcast.
We love these guys. You all know that.
It's a live act to be reckoned with.
Yes, definitely.
And then on top of that
Oh, shit.
is Tri-County Terror.
Holy fuck.
Your dreams have finally come to fruition.
It's going to happen.
You will see Tri-County Terror live.
And I'm glad I get to see him in a place like that.
Yeah.
That's going to be insane. Talk about some fucking insane shit. I can't wait. They were our number 7, top of 2017, right?
That's
I
right.
think they were number 7.
I can't remember the number, but they were
Yeah.
on the list.
Yeah, I mean, get drenched in whiskey and fight and fuck. It's going to be insane.
Yeah, I noticed she posted that picture earlier of Michael Douglas from, what's that, Falling Down?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I commented.
Oh, did you?
I put defense.
Nice.
We all love that movie.
Yeah.
We could do a whole episode just on that movie.
We should someday.
We should, yeah.
Even though it has nothing to do with...
Hey, we do what we want.
What's that thing Josta does now where it's...
How cool is this or some shit?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
haven't even listened to one
I
of
can't
them
keep
yet.
some of that straight sometimes. I don't know.
So, have you listened to any of them?
No,
There's
I
only
haven't
been like
listened to
3
any
of
of
them. I guess it's where it's just talking about something that's not music. You know?
Yeah. But I don't know how cool it is yet, so I haven't listened. So, anyways.
All right. Well, you wanted to mention Ghost.
Yes. We should go over this for a few minutes.
Yeah.
There is no more Papa Emeritus. Now it's Cardinal Copia.
How are they going to continue without a Papa?
Well, if you watch the videos, they explain it.
Yeah.
You know?
I will say I watched the video where they introduced him, but I haven't watched the other ones.
You haven't seen the one where he comes out with the boombox?
Yeah, where he comes up to
Okay.
him, and then like
Is there one after that?
I think there's like
Oh, I need to find out.
one or 2 other ones.
Those are the only 2 I've seen so far.
Okay, I've only seen one.
There's one where it's just the older Papa and the woman talking, and then it cuts off right before
Oh, okay.
he walks in, and then the next one is when he walks in. So,
Okay.
yeah. So there you go. I mean, they're doing something different. You can obviously tell it's still Tobias Forge, because the voice sounds the same when he's talking in that video. And I saw the acoustic thing they did online, and they were playing, Soros or Sorice. I'm sorry. It sounded just like it's definitely the same guy, but this is the character that he's being portrayed now.
Which is kind of cool and odd that you think this band is finally, over the past year or so, they've kind of got more into the mainstream.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden that they made it to that point, he's just like, fuck it, let's change this way. The thing everybody knows about Ghost is that image of, the Pope, the demon Pope or whatever you want to call him. And then...
And they totally...
Then he does away with it.
And and like you said, they were coming into the mainstream, which is kind of why I thought, well, now that's why he's coming out with no hat on and, and he's in more of something he can move around in, not just like a robe.
Yeah.
But now they're kind of going back a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but don't worry, it's still weird looking, so it's all good.
Yeah.
You've got the contacts and the weird thing in the mouth that makes him look like he's got a mask on or some shit. I don't know how they do it, but anyways.
So the question is, where do they go after that? Because it was always like, down the bloodline, so to speak. And this is the first one they said broke the bloodline because he didn't have an heir.
Yes. I think, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of cool to see where they might go, but I think they'll like find somebody else in the bloodline maybe a couple albums from now.
Yeah.
You never know.
Like someone they didn't know about.
Yes. Yeah. But I am glad that, when the old man came out, you kind of thought, man, I hope this isn't what they fucking do.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they didn't do that at least. So.
Well, anything else we need to ramble about?
No, I think, if people haven't turned this off already, thanks. We've rambled enough.
Yeah. DeepThunderUnderground.com. Everything's up there. We've got some reviews. You can listen to all the podcasts there. You can also listen to them pretty much anywhere podcasts are heard.
Yes.
iTunes, Google, Stitcher, TuneIn, all that great stuff. If you've got an Amazon Echo, say, Alexa, play the Thunder Underground podcast, and she'll do it. Thanks to TuneIn. But yeah, SoundCloud.com/Thunder-Underground. Facebook /The Thunder Underground. YouTube and Instagram are both at The Thunder Underground. And Twitter's THNDRUNDR Ground. Go back and check out a lot of these back episodes. We've got tons of these where we just talk like we just did about albums and play some music. Yada yada. Then we've got tons where we... It's the first time I ever said that, huh? Tons where we do interviews. We had Jared James Nichols here a couple months ago.
That was awesome.
That's a great up-and-coming artist you need to check out if you have not.
Definitely.
He's a badass. We've had on John Connolly from Seven Dust. We mentioned Scattered Hamlet. They've been on here like 4 times.
Yes.
Probably a 5th soon enough.
Hopefully.
We mentioned like some of the bands we talked about from around here. Alter Blood, Fist of Rage, Grind, Less Than Human, Driver, Reliance Code. All these bands have been on this podcast.
The list goes on.
Yeah. And then, of course, big names like Gene Simmons from Kiss.
Yes.
Bruce Kulick of Kiss. Corrosion of Conformity, Shinedown.
Megadeth.
Saving Abel.
Crowbar.
Battlecross. Warrant. Trickster. Firehouse. I like whenever I say one of those bands, it's just like all of them start coming.
Yes.
All the glam bands. Europe, Lillian Axe, Taiketo, Bullet Boys. And then Death Angel.
And Death Angel. Why not?
Sid Falk, formerly of Overkill.
The Obsessed.
Yes. Shooter Jennings.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a good place to end.
It is.
All right. Until next time.
Thunder Underground, y'all.